I'm continuing my series on relationships, and today I want to talk about the spirit of insecurity and the damage it can do to a relationship. This spirit of insecurity is a belief that you are not enough. And if you believe you are not enough, it will never be enough. And it comes out in fears: fear of abandonment, fear of rejection, fear of judgment, and you end up doing self-seeking behaviors for approval. And if you're in a relationship with someone that has an insecure spirit, you get the feeling like it's never enough. You can't do anything right, no matter the compliments, no matter the love and assurance and all of the things, because the spirit of insecurity is like a bottomless pit. There's never enough. There will never be enough time, money, love, approval, compliments, anything that come from outside, because inside there is this insecurity. And in relationships, often there are these games that get set up between the partners, the one that's insecure and the one that's trying to help them. And the games are like, I can use an example that the couple gets in an argument and the insecure person says, "I'm leaving." And the other partner's like, "No, don't leave. I love you. Come back in here. We'll sit down and talk about this." And begins to reassure and, and placate and all of the things. And it's this cycle. And the insecure person continues to create whatever thing to get the attention they need, to be approved of, to hear there's a payoff for that. And it just takes one of them to break the pattern. The one that's not insecure, that's trying to reassure the one that is, can just say, "Well, that's your choice." And then they can choose to leave or not. And after a while, are you going to continue to tolerate this unacceptable behavior? Because, if you're in a committed relationship and one of you keeps threatening to leave, there's no safety and no security for the other person. Now, if you get two people with insecure spirits, you're going to have a big problem. I call this relationship 2 ticks and no dog, because that's what it's like. Because the insecure spirit in a person sucks the life out of the other partner. And if you got 2 people sucking the life out of each other, that's a pretty good analogy of 2 ticks and no dog. This bottomless pit, they're never supported or appreciated enough. They don't feel like they ever look good enough. They perform well enough. They're needy. It's just they're just never enough, because they have the belief that they are not enough. And this is caused by lack of worthiness. You have to feel like you are a worthy, deserving human being to not feel so insecure. And there are going to be times in relationships, I still feel this, where I feel insecure. But it's not a spirit of insecurity. Anytime you face anything new or do anything different, you're going to feel some insecurity. They call it imposter syndrome, and any person, most YouTube creators felt this when they started their YouTube channel. The self-doubt, the insecurity, that, man, I don't know what I'm doing. And the only way you learn how to do something is by doing it. And that's the only way you learn. And a lot of people that have this bottomless pit spirit don't even know that that's what they're dealing with, because they're very helpful, they're accommodating, people-pleasing, and that's controlling. People who are insecure, driven by fear, become control freaks. They want to control everything. They overthink everything. They misinterpret things that are said about them, and they perceive that it's toward them in a negative manner. And it just erodes at the relationship. It's not your partner's job to make you feel secure. You can only get that feeling of security in a relationship from the inside and from yourself. You have to peg into the worthiness, that you're worthy. It keeps you from having to be responsible in the relationship if you have the spirit of insecurity. You don't have to be responsible for your part. You know, how could you? You're not good enough to be responsible for your part. So the way to address this is to become aware of the insecure spirit and accept that you're insecure. And if you need help, get help with it. You can write about it. You can, whatever to claim your worthiness as a human being. I get my worthiness from God. And I'm a worthwhile human being just because of that. I am a beautiful child of God. And I had to work on my insecurities. And there are times in relationships that this insecurity gets shaken. If you've maybe in past relationships you had a partner cheat on you. And so this one area you are hyper vigilant about controlling it because you think that's going to happen again. And I had to work on that. I had to tell myself that if he wants someone else, okay. And just that it was none of my business what he was doing. And that God would help me see through that. And then I could address it then. But also have a real strong need for security and safety in the relationship. And that's important to me. And if I feel secure and safe within myself, I can find that in a relationship with someone that has the right behavior. We don't even really know sometimes the behavior. But I do know that this insecure spirit, because will create your reality. The fears underlying this will create that in your life. If you're afraid that someone's going to leave you, you will do the behavior of smothering and suffocating somebody. I call it taking them hostage. And you will drive them away and they will leave. And that's how that abandonment, because you are abandoning yourself. You are rejecting yourself. You are judging yourself. And you have to drop that and just accept who you are, where you are, and do the work to become worthy. It's an inside job. And remember, to be you on purpose.